let's start with the compelling communication. And what we'll do is we'll build it around your business. One thing I've found is most useful is instead of telling you like the theoretical, let's tell you the actual useful, the practical. So there's three pieces to it. In order for communication to be compelling, that means people take action. They're excited, right, to learn more, to implement. It has to fit into. It has to have three pieces to it. So it's going to be clarity or clear. It's going to be concise, and it's going to be confident or expressed with confidence. So clear, concise, and confident. And what happens, whether this is an email, social media post, you're in line at Dunkin' Donuts. If you speak with clarity, keep it concise and confident, what should happen is that people feel compelled, like, hey, let's take action. And that action could just be asking a question, hey, what's next? How do I learn more? How do I sign up? And what's really fascinating, if it's to the right person, i.e., think of people call it your avatar, your ideal client, right? Then they'll be curious. They want to learn more. But even if it's the wrong person, if you do that, those three pieces correct, then they're like, oh, wait, I got to tell you about my buddy Bruce. I got to tell you about Anthony. Like, this is perfect for that. All right. So, clarity. The note for this one is it's more important to be clear than to be clever. Okay? And that one was for me because I always like alliterations, I like things to rhyme. That's fine if it's clear. So there's a quote by Samuel Clemens. He says, "Don't use a 25-cent word and a 5-cent word will do." And I love that because if people sound smart, try to impress people, but what's so valuable is do they understand it? Right. That's really where you start to have compelling communication, where they get it. And it's the most counterintuitive thing for me because I read all these books, learn all these words. I used to play Scrabble with my mom for hours. All these silly words that no one uses. And so people weren't getting what they needed out of the talk side, the communication side, because it wasn't clear. Right. So clear is more important than clever. Questions, comments, concerns on that one?
No, I don't think so. That makes sense because I remember when I was learning about copywriting, said to what's that thing called? Hemingway.
Mm-hmm.
He said to put your copy through the Hemingway editor to make sure the grade level is low because I think he said the average adult reads at like a 6th grade level or something like that. So make sure what you're communicating is at that level or lower. So that makes sense what you're saying. That's
interesting. Yeah. I didn't know that, but it makes sense from the trial and error that I've done because I've done it wrong. Okay, let's figure out how to do it right. Okay. You said that's the Hemingway model?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, okay. Concise. This one took me a little bit to really embody. Concise is not short. And that's the lesson for this one. Concise doesn't mean short. Like you're not just going to use fewer words just to use fewer words. Because the first priority is always to be clear. Sometimes that takes a few words. So how we want to understand concise is do we use the least amount of words to say the most. That's the note for concise. Least amount of words. To say the most. So for concise, we want to give ourselves permission. It's more important than to be complete than it is just to be short. So are you ever perfect? Yeah, you like to cook?
I just finished meal prepping before I got here.
Oh, triggered.
I just finished meal prepping.
Okay. You ever look up a recipe and they start telling you about, hey, grandma used to make this recipe and it's from.
How do I make the food?
Okay,
put in here.
That's not being concise.
Right.
That's the opposite of concise. So, but however, have you ever seen a recipe where it's just the ingredients?
Yeah.
There's no measurements on anything. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, you're like, so what do I do?
That's short.
Oh, okay. So the in between.
I don't want to be short. I want to be complete.
Okay.
That's more important. So if it's a bunch of words, that's okay. But are they useful? Are they the most information in the fewest amount of words? Okay. That's the difference. That's the harmony that has to happen. I can't say, oh, it's 25 words is too much, or it should be 100 words. I don't know. But is it complete? That's the thing for concise. Any questions on that?
No. Because at first I thought concise meant short.
Mm-hmm.
That put it in better perspective. It's not short. It's just the short is to say everything.
Yes, that's the most important part. And sometimes that's going to be a few words. Okay. But we'll do some examples too. Okay, confident. This one's a little bit longer. Confidence. Well, actually, what does confidence mean to you?
Confidence means that you are certain on whatever it is that you're doing. So in the case of, I guess, selling something, that you're confident that the product or service that you're selling is going to solve that person's problem.
I like that. I like that certainty. So there's when writing this, I've been doing this training for probably 8 years now, and it keeps evolving. As I grow, I understand things better. I can explain them better. Because I used to tell people concise or short, and they were getting stuck because they're like, I can't make this any shorter. It's only 3 words. And now I realized that what you learn, it's got to be complete, right? Mm-hmm. So then how do I teach people confidence? And that's a tough one because I can teach you to code, I teach you to tie a bow tie. How do you teach them confidence? So I really struggle with this one, but I really like what you said about uncertainty. So 2 things. There's a confidence, that's certainty, but then there's self-confidence. Those are actually 2 different definitions. So really, I like alliteration, so I clear, concise, confident. Really, we're talking about self-confidence here. And so your definition is good. We're going to keep that. We're going to expand it to ourself. And what I came up with, confidence is knowing who you are and who you are not. That's our definition of confidence. So knowing, or that certainty, right? Mm-hmm. Who you are and who so now there's a lot to that. And then I want to add a little dot, if you will, and believing you can grow. So what happens with this definition of confidence, this isn't in the dictionary, it's not what it says. When you know, so about me, I enjoy travel. I like to see new places, try new food. And one thing I noticed when trying like new food, new recipes, I ad lib a little bit. Do not follow directions. So it makes me a terrible baker. Like cake's gonna be flat, pancake's gonna be bouncy. That's not self-deprecating. I, I know I do not like to be exact. So I think confidence creates a balance, a harmony, a contrast. Like, hey, I'm a little bit of this, and I'm not this. And accepting yourself for that. So confidence isn't about being the best. It's about being certain of who you are. And then I always like to add, because my business is new skills, new you, that you can grow, like you can change. Like, okay, I could hypothetically practice measuring. I have the capacity. I don't want to, right? But I could. And so saying, hey, listen, we're both entrepreneurs. I haven't had a six-figure month yet, but I believe I can get there. It's possible. And I think that's where confidence is. It's not beating yourself up. Like, oh, I haven't done a 100K month. Oh, I'm a failure. Oh, no, you just haven't done it yet. Right. So that one took a long time to really shape out, but it was really helpful in giving myself permission to be where I am and not stay. Questions, comments, concerns on confidence?
No, I don't think so. That was pretty cool.
Okay. So now what happens when we're clear, we're concise, and we speak with confidence, we're talking to the right people. You remember the training we did last week on the 5 steps to hear yes, right? Yeah. Just asking the right people makes the rest of it all easy. When you say this to the right person, they're going to be compelled to action. So here's the exercise part of this. We're going to create 2 statements. And this is going to be for your business. You can use these in your copy, emails. If you go live, on your one-to-ones, we're going to create a solution statement, and we're going to create a problem statement. Solution statement is going to sound a lot like what Taria teaches us as far as our intro statement. Right? I help these people accomplish this. Right. The problem statement is the inverse. So think of a coin. You got heads on one side, tails on the other side. It's not 2 coins, it's just 2 sides. Right. So you might say, I help people hear yes more often. That's the solution statement. The problem statement is, hey, you're wasting time, energy, and losing money talking to your ideal client, but they don't say yes. All right? They're the same thing as the inverse of it. Now, we're going to use our 3 C's to write this. We'll write one for your business. Oh, and I'll share a link. Make sure we got like a way to get on your calendar too. Okay. So when I share it, you go, hey, he's talking to me. And then we'll do the problem statement same way. We'll see what we come up with. So I always ask this question: what is it you do?
I don't think that's my answer. What do I do? I help people create financial independence.
Mm-hmm. I like it. It's clear. It's concise. And if I'm talking to someone that's trying to get there, it's compelling. This might be the shortest exercise I've ever done. Now, something I didn't mention, but you hit it. It's the transformation. The transformation is, where do we end up because we work? So this is redundant, but I'm gonna ask you, where do people end up as they work with? You already said it, right? Right. It's financial independence. A lot of people say, oh, what do you do? I'm an author. Don't care. What do they say? Oh, I'm a speaker. I'm a transformational coach. I don't care. It's not clear. It's concise though. Author. Yeah, it's real concise. But they can't be compelling if it's not clear and concise. So then I said, well, what do you write about? Oh, well, I write about making sales simple. Oh, okay. Well, why do you make sales simple? Oh, well, I help you hear yes more often. That's the part people almost never get to.
Oh, okay.
They talk about how, they talk about what, they never talk about why. So we can make sales simple. Why? So we can create financial independence. That's why. That's the transformation. That's the outcome. Now, in another conversation, we'll talk about how you get there. But that's not what we're building on. Questions, comments, concerns, or not.
So that was the solution statement.
You know what? I might rename it. We'll call it transformation statement. Because the solution might be some coaching, right? It might be financial. That's the solution. That's how we get there. The transformation, though, is financial. Now, here's one more way you can make this a little bit more compelling. Who do you help create financially?
This is where we get unclear.
Okay. No,
so
let's dive in.
So in my mind, quote unquote, everyone, because anyone can. But what I've seen so far in the people that I've helped thus far, the one thing, or kind of two things that they all that they all have had in common are they're entrepreneurs or entrepreneurial minded.
Okay.
And parents. So that's what everyone I've helped thus far has had in common.
Okay.
Their parent, entrepreneurial minded.
So let's go back to everyone. I really love the ambitiousness of it. But the challenge is there's so many languages that you and I don't speak.
Right.
I speak English, Spanish pretty poorly. Been thinking about Arabic, right? However, my skill level in those languages isn't high enough to help someone do this in that language. So everyone really is ambiguous. It's not clear. Even though our ambition is, we'd love to help every single person that comes contact. So it's cliche, but we have to be careful when we say everyone, that we're really going to talk to them. One of the things in this exercise, hopefully we'll get to it, the 4P framework, we ask a really simple question. Who can we serve with excellence? Right? Who is here, they work with us, and they get really far. And so someone who is a toddler, perhaps, hey, how you doing? Come on and sit down. Have a good one. Let's say a toddler that can't help you with financial independence. He can't even count, right? And that's silly. I'm being facetious, but we really want to narrow it down because this is where it gets compelling. Talk to me about entrepreneurs that you've worked with.
Let's see. So one person, she has her own. I don't even specifically know what type of business that she runs actually, but she was already doing that. I talked to her about financial services and all of that. Mm-hmm. She was interested in not only getting a plan put in place, but also adding it to the services that she was already providing. Because she was like, I think I'm kind of doing this for my clients already, but not being compensated. So that was her. Another person, let's see, she was in and out of entrepreneurship. Like sometimes she would make stuff to sell, but still working full time as well. So that was kind of back and forth there, but still entrepreneurial minded.
Okay.
She had a 1-year-old.
That goes back to the parents.
Yeah. The first lady, I think she had like 3 daughters or something. I don't remember. Married in 3. I think it was. The second person is personal trainer, and his daughter was just about to be born. His wife was pregnant, so that was that framework. Another person, she had 2 kids. She's working full time, but she had an idea to do what she's already doing in a job, but for herself as a business.
Okay.
So that's kind of the gist of those are the ones that come to mind as far as like, okay, they're entrepreneurial and their parents. So that's what I feel has happened.
So I'm hearing a couple things in there.
Mm.
I'm hearing some level of ambition. They want more out of life. Sounds like they want some control over their future and maybe even the day to day. And then it sounds like the families will be part of their motivation, like taking care of the people they care about. So this is where when we start working on making compelling communication, there's no magical set of words that's going to distract everyone. From that language, from their age or experiences, or so many reasons. But there is a set of words that's going to be that light bulb for just the right person, the person you're looking for. And so that's what we're looking for. So you might even niche down and say, hey, I help entrepreneurial parents create financial independence for their family. Play around with this, serve them for a little while. So,
that made my blood sugar high.
oh, nice. Now you can say, hey, I really love doing this. I can help them. Or you might say, hey, no, this is not what I'm looking for. And you can change. This is why the definition of competence is so important, where we add the line, believing you can grow. You don't have to state it. I'm not telling you this is the only people you can talk to. But that's the pattern you're seeing. Hey, it's not deep. And now it's more compelling, right? Because I look at that and I say, hey, help entrepreneurial parents. Hey, I'm an entrepreneur. I got kids. Help them create financial independence. That's what I'm trying to do for their family. Hey, that's my priority. I know you are exactly talking to me. So let's see. Hold on, let me write this. I help entrepreneurial parents create. Should we say for financial independence period, or financial independence for their family, or financial independence for themselves and their family?
I feel like themselves and their family. It's kind of. I feel like when I think about it, if it's just for their family, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It kind of takes me back to like when, like, let's say an immigrant family came over to provide a better life for the kids. And so, like, the kids are living better than the parents did. But my goal is to help the parents live better and help the kids live better. So I like themselves. And
that's good clarity. Yeah, that's good clarity. Okay. And you know what? I think that's a good point. I don't want to be broke and living in a hovel and my kids living in a hovel. Mm-hmm. I want everybody to enjoy it together. Right. No, that's good. Mm-hmm. So let's count the words on this one. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's where I never tell people like, oh, it's gotta be 25 words, it's gotta be 6 words. It's 12 words, but let's go over this. I help entrepreneurial parents create financial independence for themselves and their family. We took out a single word, it would lose its clarity. So let's just take out entrepreneur, right? Mm-hmm. We say, hey, let me down to 11 words. I help parents create financial independence for themselves and their family. Well, that's really a key part of the people you said you were working with, right? Like, hey, I want to take this from my 9 to 5, I want to do it for myself. Hey, I'm running a business, I'm looking to grow. Like, that changes who's going to hear this message. It's going to change who raises their hand and says, hey, oh, that's me, right? That's the compelling part. They take action. And so as you take parents out of it, again, that's one of the key demographics of actually people you work with. If you take out themselves, we're missing the point of enjoying life together, right? If you take out their family, we're losing the motivation. I really feel like this is the fewest amount of words that says the most. So even though it's not short, and this is clear, so that it's concise, and to an entrepreneurial parent, it's going to be very compelling. Yeah, hold on, how do we do that? I got to stop playing something. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to use this for a while, and it's going to evolve. It's going to evolve. It might be parents whose kids are entrepreneurs. It might be parents who have a franchise business, who might be only professional services, might be six-figure families, seven-figure. It's going to evolve. So don't feel stuck here. Give yourself permission to change this. You might just move just to parent. You might move just entrepreneur. And another thing about this, and they say, hey, well, I don't have any kids now, but I was thinking about it. Can I still work with you? That'd be great. So it's not to exclude anyone. It's just to make it very clear who this is for.
Okay.
Questions, comments, concerns?
That clarified it, because I had thought about it before I actually had updated my LinkedIn. I didn't phrase it like this, but I did have like ambitious and parents.
Okay.
And I thought about it and I was like, I'm not a parent. So would I work with me if I was applying? I don't know.
Okay, let's talk about that one. I struggle with this one as well because I've helped some clients. Two of my favorite stories. One was a startup. It was like a 9-figure startup. Yeah, it was a $1 billion startup. And we did a project moving them from one software to the other. That's right. And that really gave me permission to be like, hey, I don't have to be a $1 billion startup to work with $1 billion startups. I just have to be able to help them, to serve them with excellence. And so, I mean, you do have to be careful. Like, I don't run around teaching people how to build a $1 billion startup when I haven't built a $1 billion startup. However, I say, hey, I help startups hear yes more often. One of the ways I do that is through is software, right? Sales enablement software. That's completely true. Without, so I want to be ethical. I want to be, I want to operate in integrity, right? I'm not going to teach you something I haven't at least been certified to do, right? I say certified to do because you might help people retire. You haven't retired yet. Does that make you here? No. You trained for this, you studied, you've been licensed for this. So to me, that's operating in integrity. That took me a little bit. I felt a lot of guilt. I want to be a snake oil salesman, you know?
Right. Right.
All right. Cool. I love it. Play around with it. See how people respond to it, and give yourself permission to change it. Now, here's the tough one: the problem statement. What happens to entrepreneurial parents when they don't create financial independence?
Let's see as well. I feel like when they reach certain milestones, they aren't financially ready, such as to miss college, or maybe they may have saved for college, but then the kid doesn't want to go to college, and then now you have all this money saved like in a designated college fund that is now liable to be taxed because the child doesn't want to use it for that. So then you're losing money when you thought you was saving it in a proper vehicle that way. What else happens if we don't? Sometimes you just aren't prepared at all. You just go about with life, not considering any type of plan, or maybe not improving the current plan that you have, and you just say, okay, well, I figured it out type of thing. Sometimes you, especially now with the way costs and inflation and all that, sometimes you just are in financial hardship just from going it alone and not having some type of plan. I feel like there's a lot of different ways. Sometimes, if a family member passes away, you now have emotional turmoil of them not being here. And then if there is nothing put in place prior to that, you also have financial strain as well. Because I know I've seen like a lot of GoFundMe's for funerals and stuff like that,
Yeah.
where if certain things were put in place beforehand, at least they're not here anymore, but you don't also have them not being here and financial strain. You just have one. Um, yeah, I feel like that's the majority of the problems that arise. And then not to mention with if there's nothing put in place before they pass, then there's potential for stuff to go all kinds of craziness when they leave, and then there's nothing put in place, and then the assets go to the court system, and then the family can't get access to it without going through legal process and all that kind of stuff. Um, yeah, I think one of like the biggest examples of that was like the Michael Jackson's kids, what's the name, Prince and Paris,
Okay.
where they couldn't get their inheritance because they didn't have the money to pay the taxes because of all the mass wealth that Michael Jackson accumulated. I think it was like $1 billion had to be paid in taxes before they could get the rest of it. And it's like the kids don't have that. They wasn't the greatest performer of all time, so they don't have that money. So it just tied it up and they couldn't get it. So just it's a lot to where it kind of when things aren't put in place, it kind of what's that phrase? It kind of puts the next generation off on a bad start because it's kind of like they basically are starting from zero. Whereas if it was structured a certain type of way, then it could help propel them forward as opposed to pushing them back.
Okay. So here, wasting money, unprepared, hardship, financial burden, legal difficulties. I want to encourage you to get a little bit more granular. So here's a real simple. If you don't have, let's say your friend's getting married in a Aruba, destination wedding, okay. You got $5. Can you go to the wedding? Can you afford to go? No. So now let's say that friend is your child. So you talked about milestones. What if we're missing life events because we just don't have the money? This is how we have to this talk about clear, concise, and confident. This is where we have to tell a story, just a few words. And listen, I help entrepreneurial parents create financial independence for themselves and their families so they don't miss life's milestones like weddings, birthdays. Another one was working up until your last breath.
Yeah, that was my dad.
I was late. Okay, that was your dad. I might tell that part of the story. Hey, so you don't have to work for the rest of your life. You can enjoy the life of the people you care about. We want to make it so simple that anyone, remember, you said it earlier, that anyway, my sixth grade, we'll make it simple. A lot of people don't know about court taxes and what's going on, Daniel?
All right, how are you?
And probate and life insurance and all that. But they understand missing a wedding because you can't afford to go.
Yep.
So let me think, what else? Now, here's the challenge about how we get that into a precise statement.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Within the problem statement, we're just simply stating if you don't achieve financial independence, then you get problem. Okay. So we don't have a good simple and clear. Um, Control is what's coming to mind.
Okay, that's good. So let's do it this way. What's the opposite of control?
Um,
All right, no control. How do you feel? What emotions you experience when you don't have control, there's no control over your financial ability?
Anxiety,
Anxiety,
stress.
Okay.
What's another one? Fear, depending on how bad it is.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I think like those. I know I've experienced those in the past related to finance.
Sure, me too. I think you said some key ones. You said anxiety, stress, and fear. So
Yeah.
I say, hey, listen, I help entrepreneurial parents create financial independence for themselves and their family so they can remove the anxiety, the fear, and the stress, planning for the future.
Okay. So that's the problem statement.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't have financial independence, you're going to feel anxiety, you're going to feel fear, you're going to feel stress. And people are going to either A, be like, yeah, I do. That's how I feel. Or B, I'm like, I don't want stress. I don't want to. I don't want fear. I want financial independence. And it's a contrast, right? It's the alternative. Like, let's make this a real easy decision. Do you stressed, anxious, or do you want to have financial independence? And they're like, well, I want to have financial independence. Great. Let's schedule a call and talk about what that looks like for you and your family.
Okay. I feel like it's much simpler than I thought it was. Okay.
Usually is. That's why Tuesday this was one of the most well received trainings I do. Got it? All right. Read it back to us.
Help entrepreneurial parents achieve financial independence for themselves and their families so they don't experience fear, stress, and anxiety. I think I missed the last part. From nine. Was there a from nine or was it just?
Yeah, I would say stress, fear, anxiety about what? Like, are we scared of dogs? Are we worried about my blood pressure? So what are we anxious about?
From not having a financial strategy.
Okay, that's good. I worry though that might be different. That might mean different things for different people.
Right.
What about something? How about this? Where for most people, where is retirement? And let's just say in time.
In time.
Yeah.
So according to the laws of averages, the average retirement age is supposed to be 65.
Mm-hmm.
Also, based on the laws of averages, those that are retiring at 65 are only staying retired for 2 years because they run out of money, then they have to go back to work. On average. So that
So that would be a great little workshop, or maybe The ebook is how to stay retired. But let's zoom out a little bit. Let's say I want to retire early. Is that in my past, my present, or my future?
That's in the future.
So we're helping people plan for the future. Actually, I might just say in the future. I might just say, hey, fear, stress, anxiety about the financial future.
Okay.
Set a strategy.
Okay.
And again, play around with this, test it, give the feedback.
Okay. That sounds more appropriate. So they don't experience fear, stress, and anxiety about their financial future. Yeah.
Okay, so all right, from the top.
Okay. I help entrepreneurial parents achieve financial independence for themselves and their families so they don't experience fear, stress, and anxiety about their financial future.
How's that feel?
That feels clear. That feels concise. That feels compelling.
I love it. I love it. I don't think there's anything to adjust there. So yeah, I help entrepreneurial parents create financial independence for themselves and for their family. How do you do that? Well, working with me, we take out the stress, anxiety, and fear, working on financial future. Is that a conversation you're open to happen? Actually, yeah, I've been meaning to. Okay, here's how you get on the guy.
Um,
All right. Congratulations. You completed compelling communication.
oh, okay.